It's time to light the night. Now, join CBS Austin live in Fredericksburg for the Light the Night Christmas Parade. Broadcast sponsored by Create Healthy.
We are live at the Fredericksburg Parade, the Light the Night Parade in downtown Fredericksburg, sponsored by HEB. I'm Walt Macaborski, joined by meteorologist Avery Tomasco, and our master of ceremonies tonight, as always, Penny McBride, president of the chamber here. And Penny, this is actually Avery's first rodeo.
This is literally my first rodeo. So I've been with CBS Austin for 6 years. I've usually been the one back in the studio making sure the weather goes right, but oh my goodness, it is incredible being out here in person. So much different than what you see on the screen at home. As good as that is, imagine what this looks like out here. The lights came on here in Mark Plots. Everything just got a little bit brighter. Penny, we are so happy to have you with us. This is an incredible event. Again, I'm seeing this for the first time, but you have seen this grow over 13 plus years.
Yes.
What does it mean to you to see this event becoming so big and now with maxed out 160 floats?
Well, we just enjoy the opportunity to celebrate this Christmas spirit in this way, and that the community's embraced it and visitors come and have embraced it and grown it bigger and bigger. We're just delighted to have that kind of participation and celebration for the holidays.
Yeah, there's a little more traffic coming out here than I was expecting.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, 30 plus years, they say it's 30-ish years because this actually started with a bunch of vendors saying, hey, let's have a Christmas parade, and they didn't really keep track of it until it started getting this big.
Exactly. Some of our local businesses, in fact, one of the founders of the parade, Sammy Segner, he was the lineup chairman again this year, which is an exercise in bravery, of course.
So we had the marching band start. You heard the drums. We had the Red Hots kick everything off.
Absolutely.
And now we are going into, I love this float. Look at that RV.
Retro vibes.
It almost feels like Christmas vacation. We had HEB and Santa Claus, the sponsor float, go by. And this is a Christmas vacation theme here for sure.
Is that National Lampoon's?
This is Cozy Vacation Rentals, yes.
Okay. That is authentic.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, presented by Security State Bank and Trust. The bank located at the parade's kickoff point has been a huge supporter of the Light the Night Christmas Parade and Afterglow. Security State Bank and Trust, which has served the Hill Country since 1941.
And that's our broadcast sponsor, Create Healthy.
Absolutely, yeah, Create Healthy. This entry comes from tonight's broadcast sponsor, a nonprofit organization and the largest philanthropic entity in the entire region. Create Healthy is dedicated to improving health and wellness by supporting a variety of programs, services that make the Hill Country one of the best places to live. We're seeing proof of that tonight in this event. Their entry tonight certainly makes health look fun.
These floats have really stepped up a notch, Penny. Really nice production values, and I know a lot of these are homemade. Bethany Lutheran Church here depicts the wise men following a star to Bethlehem. This is just one of the scenes that can be experienced at their annual Christmas journey on December 8th and 9th. Visitors can walk or drive through the scenes that tell the Christmas story or ride the Bethany bus that departs from Mark Plots, where we are live tonight.
All right, this next one speaks to my heart. An ugly Christmas sweater overload coming your way. If you didn't notice, my sweater is plainly ugly tonight. This is thanks to the staff at Aerosol Vineyards. It is quite the contrast to the beauty you will behold on a visit to their stunning taste room. That's just 10 miles east of Fredericksburg. Drove in right past it today. It is so beautiful out there. There are panoramic views, this majestic oak trees at the edge of Beckman Draw. And if you bring your binoculars, you're likely to see upwards of 20 bird species. There's so much going on here in Fredericksburg, Texas.
Penny, speaking of vineyards, what are we up to now? I know there are about 60, but I feel like there's permits for even more vineyards. It's just blowing up out there.
It has, and you're right. It's a little over 60 unique G permits that we have here in Gillespie County.
And it's just such a great weekend to enjoy. Penny, we know that the Fredericksburg Chamber has been around for 103 years, and we understand that Strayer Sons and Strayer and Alfers has been a member for those 95 years. This entry depicts the 12 days of Christmas along with a live music performance by the Bill Smallwood Band, a local favorite.
That's a long time to be in business, and it's a multi-generation company that's just involved in everything in our community.
One of about 800, you have a vibrant business community here.
We really do, and you know, it's so nice because when we call our members, they tell us, yes, we'll help.
And speaking of this community, we have the Gillespie County Fair and Festival Association. And did you know it is home to the oldest continuous county fair in Texas, the Gillespie County? That's correct. Right here, we have the 135th Gillespie County Fair Queen, Addison Hahn.
She has the wave down.
In her court, she nailed it. Duchesses Addison Shusu and Audrey Williams. These beautiful young ladies represent the fair at a variety of events, serve the goodwill ambassadors of the community.
And if you need a weekend stay here, the parade is perfect. Plan it for next year and make sure you grab a place at one of the bed and breakfasts, or you're seeing the float of the Fredericksburg Inn and Suites presenting in this next entry, which depicts a festive Christmas carnival complete with its own Ferris wheel. We love all the illuminated details. Again, Betty, stepping it up a notch this year. I think this is the best, biggest parade I've seen in the last 12 years or so.
Well, I think so too, and it's all thanks to our community, because as you mentioned, Walt, these entries are homemade, and these groups just spend a ton of time and energy putting together something as beautiful as that to roll down the street.
It is not just quantity this year, 160 maxed out floats, but also the quality. That Ferris wheel, I don't know if I've ever seen that being towed behind a car, all lit up like that. Here you're looking at the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. That is giving us this beautifully illuminated nativity scene. You just saw it scroll by there on your screen. And quickly coming up next, I believe we have Fisher and Weiser Specialty Foods.
A 1928 German immigrant named J.B. Weiser planted a small peach orchard, and his son Mark continued caring for the orchard during college breaks. And we know peaches are a key part of the culture here, Penny.
Absolutely. And up next is Arrowhead Bank. I'm really excited about this entry because the bank is celebrating 100 years, and they've been marking the centennial anniversary all year long, and they wanted to cap it off with an appearance in the Light the Night Christmas Parade.
Have they seen some growth or what?
They have.
100 years?
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, obviously the most number of floats you've ever had. Have you seen them all yet? Do you have a favorite?
I have not seen them all. In fact, I'm seeing most of them as they come by with you guys tonight.
we are.
So it's a
St.
real
Mary's
treat.
Catholic School here with the snowflakes. Students at St. Mary's Catholic School, and they chose this motif as a metaphor for the way God created each of us to be special and unique, just like every snowflake.
Oh, here's a good one, a timeless classic. You recognize it just from Snoopy on the Roof.
Oh, yes.
Charlie Brown Christmas, brought to life by the Good Samaritan Center. I'm not sure how many times you've watched it, but as a kid, we certainly never missed it at my house. The Good Samaritan Center is a charitable medical, dental, and mental health counseling clinic that serves the uninsured and working poor of Gillespie County.
You know, Gillespie County, so much agriculture here. Participants in Gillespie County 4-H clubs and programs from across the country gathered on this next entry. The 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, and I think they're having some fun with the pig outfits out there.
There's no way they're not. I hope it's warmer in there than it is out here in those pig suits.
They're having a blast. These young people want to share some of their favorite 4-H activities, such as livestock, family, community health, public speaking, judging, contests, and more.
And First United Bank. This is going to get your sweet tooth rocking. Celebrate a candy-coated Christmas with the First United Bank. Ooh, that looks good. I hope they actually have some candy out there. If they're not throwing some out, they're doing it wrong. This float's decorated top to bottom with shimmering lights, oversized candies, glittery gumdrops, giant candy canes. It's a group of bankers that have had a blast making the most of everything you've seen by hand.
And Christmas on the Farm, here's the theme of this charming entry from Fredericksburg Farms, a family-owned and operated local small business that manufactures and sells gourmet food, bath, body, and candle products.
And my pantry is stocked with all of their stuff. It is delicious.
You know, I love coming here, getting some gift jams and jellies and just so many great treats and chocolates. I gain about 10 pounds every time I just walk down the street.
You can't not gain 10 pounds, especially on a night like tonight. The smell in the air, it's going everywhere. All the fair food, and of course, there's so much more to buy and shop with at local shops. We are moving right along to the Stonewall Chamber of Commerce, Stonewall Peach Jamboree. You can see the peach vibes
Peachy.
are rocking. It is looking peachy on that float. If there was an official flavor of Gillespie County, you see it on the road stands everywhere, it would be without a doubt a ripe, juicy peach. Our friends at the Stonewall Chamber of Commerce celebrate this delicious bounty each June with the Stonewall Peach Jamboree. Tonight, we have Peach Queen Ava Jensky and her court that have transformed their summer celebration for the Christmas season.
And we're seeing the Albert Hotel go by. Next year, Fredericksburg historic Main Street skyline will include the stunning new Albert Hotel, including luxury accommodations, dining, and retail experiences that honor the past, celebrate the present, and enhance the future of the community and its guests. Another sign of the growth here in Gillespie County and downtown Fredericksburg.
And you're looking at a small stage putting on a big show from the Fredericksburg Theater Company. Fredericksburg Theater Company presenting this entry, Plaid Tidings, as a sneak peek of their upcoming Christmas show. Plaid clad actors, Elliot Dooley, John Jensen, Joshua Henderson, and Seth Smith.
And this is the Christmas train. A look at this adorable train presented tonight by the Fredericksburg Medical Equipment. And we also want to, can't help but be jealous of the train's 14 riders who will get to enjoy the glittering lights and thousands of cheering attendees along the parade route.
And look, we got Frosty on the big stage. This is County Curl Salon. My daughter can already hear her at home saying, Olaf, that's Olaf. She loves Frozen. She loves all things snowman. This is a crowd favorite coming to us again from the County Curl Salon of Comfort, Texas. Incredible views.
Look at that, right behind them is the meticulously restored 1956 F100 Ford pickup. I'm a car guy, very cool. Tannenbaum, Fredericksburg's Tannenbaum Queen, where she reigns gracefully from her candy cane throne. Judy was crowned last year's Tannenbaum Ball at the ball produced by the Gillespie County Historical Society.
Incredible. And you're looking at the Fredericksburg ISD Education Foundation. Students, families representing the Fredericksburg ISD Education Foundation want to wish everyone a joyful holiday amidst the glow of their entry covered in Christmas trees.
The community really, this is a beloved tradition here, Penny, and the community really comes out. They drop their tailgates, have a charcuterie board and wine, and just celebrate this town.
Yeah, so Christmas parade watch parties are now the whole thing. And we've actually have a VIP experience Christmas parade party that we put together. We sold it at our banquet this past year as a fundraiser for the chamber, and they are living their best life over there watching the parade.
Now that is smart. And you know what we need to come up with? Commemorative ornaments to commemorate the parade.
I agree. I like it.
I think it's big enough now to get your own ornaments.
How many people do you think are lining the streets here?
Well, last year our count by cell phone signatures was just shy of 24,000 people. So
24,000 and 160 floats. This is about the 30th year for the Light the Night Christmas Parade and Afterglow. We're continuing to see the parade go by. We're live on CBS Austin. We'll continue streaming this parade after 7 o'clock at cbsaustin.com. Right now we're looking at the Rotary International. Toys for Tots, collecting toys for the community.
Many more to come. And we will be back momentarily with more coverage from the Light the Night Christmas Parade here in the beautiful, spectacular Fredericksburg, Texas. Stick around.
Welcome back to the Light the Night Christmas Parade. We're live in Fredericksburg, Texas. You're taking a live look at the street downtown. That's Main Street at the Nimitz Museum, where the parade makes a turnaround and continues to pass along Main Street. So you get a double view of the parade depending on what side of the street you're on. And we're continuing to go through these entries, Penny. And we were talking about it during the break. These are homemade floats, but they really look more professional this year than I've ever seen them.
These are some incredibly professionally done floats, but Penny, you were saying this is just garage work.
It is garage work, and now that's my size bottle of champagne.
After tonight?
I'm going to take that one home with me.
6 Twists, a sparkling experience, stands ready to toast the holiday with that giant bottle of champagne and lots of lovely bubbles. 6 Twists focuses on tasting and providing education about sparkling wines from around the world right here in their Main Street tasting room, and it can't be called champagne unless it's actually from the Champagne region of France.
You can't do it. Next up, we have Systems Go, a local education nonprofit that originated at Fredericksburg High School all the way back in 1996. They currently support about 65 high schools across 3 states by providing proven, innovative, engineering-based STEM curriculum. Reindeer, helping them get the Christmas tree home to their sleigh.
We're looking at about 160 floats during this parade tonight. 11 years ago, maybe it was about 70 to 80. It just continues to get bigger and bigger every year. This is GT Development. It brings you home for the holidays in this Santa's workshop. The elves are building homes that are transported to Santa's sleigh via a bespeckled and sparkled excavator.
And thank goodness they're making a double pass going back down Main Street, because you kind of have to keep it moving along when there's this many floats.
You really do. And this is the first time in our history we actually had to limit entries because we just had so many and we can only have so many in the staging area.
I can't even imagine you having to say, hey guys,
I
we
know.
got to stop at 160.
What a fabulous problem, though.
Yes.
That is a great problem to have. Maybe we can, I don't know how you even get bigger than this, but this has a whole lot of life left in it in the years to come. I'm sure you're going to have to find a way to fit them in.
Texas Regional Bank here. The 1980s is arguably the best decade in music history,
Yeah,
if
it
I
is.
say so myself, including Christmas covers. The bank employees and their families have donned their retro 80s sweaters and dressed as movie characters from that memorable time. Oh, I remember A Christmas Story. I remember it well. I have that lamp in my house.
The lamp is all you need to know exactly what that float is all about. This is from Votive Hospice and Palliative Care. This is a Christmas story to reflect the joy of the holiday season. We can see the humorous touches, of course, the lamp, the props, everything needed to bring this float to life. What an incredible view. I need to find out how they got that lamp and where they got it from.
I think they'll tell you. This is H2O pool cleaning services, and with our summers, you need a pool cleaning service to get through these 106-degree temperatures, Avery. You know that better than anyone here.
No, I'm having a hard time trying not to complain about how cool it is, considering 110 degrees we hit this summer, but it is properly festively cool out here.
The merry crew of pool cleaning and repair technicians ready to make sure everything is spick and span for the North Pole and for your family at home.
And we have Miss Comfort Court, including Queen Kippy Sterling. Oh, she's got the princess wave down pat. This is Olivia Sanchez and Junior Miss Comfort Ella Etheridge. The Miss Comfort Court has been a tradition since 1966. These young ladies representing Comfort, Texas, just 25 minutes south of Fredericksburg, and perform various volunteer roles. And we can hear the band coming back around. Love to hear that.
I love that. And, we had the Red Hots kick things off. Penny started the parade with the Red Hots, and we had the Junior ROTC. I love this. Is this the J4 trailer? I think it's the ultimate Christmas tailgating party. Our friends at Fredericksburg-based J4 Trailers have the game on TV inside with the windows up. It's Robert Earl Keene's Merry Christmas for the J4 family, and we all know about tailgates in Texas.
And Penny, coming up here is another local vineyard. Do you know off the top of your head how many vineyards you have coming through tonight?
More, well, not in the parade tonight. We have, I think, 5.
5 of them. Okay, so this is one of them, the Texas Heritage Vineyard. The team at Texas Heritage Vineyard doing a great job spreading that Christmas cheer. 8-foot-tall bottle of wine. You have to do it.
Between the wine and the champagne here in Fredericksburg, it's going to be a rough night if you don't pace yourself.
It's big.
They also call this the afterglow, Penny, because the shops stay open for some shopping after the parade.
Oh, and we get to get a little peek at Santa Claus and the Misses, our entry by our presenting sponsor, HEB.
Yes, always a big supporter of the community here. Oh, and I love that old style truck and that Christmas tree. It makes me feel like the Hallmark Christmas story happening here in Fredericksburg, Texas.
That old-timey truck really brings you back in time, doesn't it? A lot of vintage cars here, a lot of cool stuff, and again, this is all homegrown. Incredible to see the passion that goes into this. Hard to believe it's 160 of them.
And Penny was saying the only thing they needed here was to have some kind of proposal or romantic storyline, and you got that.
We do. Tonight in the parade, we have the Dawson wedding. They're getting married tomorrow, and the groom emailed me and said, could we please have my fiance in the parade? She's always wanted to do that, so there's our Hallmark story.
It's a bit of a small world for me. This is a Hallmark destination, especially during the Christmas season. My Hallmark story actually started in Fredericksburg. About 6 years ago, I proposed to my wife, Ivy, here in Fredericksburg. So I wish I could have been back here at the parade then and asked you for a spot in the parade.
Absolutely. You know who to call.
I think she
do.
can pull some strings. What are we looking at here, Penny? Do you think, is this the Barrel King?
No, this is, I believe, the Fredericksburg.
Pickleball? This can't be
Oh, this is
pickleball.
Little Mr. and Miss Harper?
Whatever
With
they
160 floats, it's
They
hard to
brought
keep track.
I don't
No.
know. This is Fredericksburg Chevrolet GMC. And then this is Fredericksburg Equine and Small Animal Veterinary Services.
Which is a big deal out here in Gillespie County.
Absolutely.
Because of the farming culture here. You have a lot of horses and livestock. Very important service.
And we are quickly rolling on. Again, these parade floats are moving. There's so many to get to. We have Sinus ENT Center of Texas,
which is important
here, absolutely, especially as we approach cedar season. It is a Charlie Brown Christmas once again, another iteration of Charlie Brown Christmas. This is from the Sinus ENT Center of Texas, brought Peanuts character to life.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown.
They've been serving the Hill Country for 14 years now.
And how do you pronounce this, Penny?
Krenwelge Motors.
Krenwelge.
And Krenwelge is a very old business as well, and they are also one of our parade sponsors. They provide the official vehicles for the parade, including Santa's tow for the night.
And who did the Chamber pick to be the parade king and queen?
This year, our Grand Marshals were KK Welch and Tim Dooley. KK and her sister own a series of businesses up and down Main Street, and Tim was the third generation operator of Dooley's 5, 10, and 25-cent store, and they were our chamberman and woman in 2023.
A real deal 5 and 10 store.
Absolutely. It was an iconic Fredericksburg brand.
This is the Holy Ghost Lutheran Church, located just a block off the parade route here on Fredericksburg's Main Street, reminding us of the true meaning of Christmas with this depiction of the birth of Jesus Christ. For more than 175 years, Holy Ghost Lutheran Church has served Christ and the community here.
And you see the Grinch doing a very poor job of not spreading holiday cheer. He does look jolly. This colorfully illuminated entry from AA Plus Lawn and House reminds us that we are all kind in the heart. Even the Grinch, especially during the holidays. Christmas characters all over the place, covered in snow. Speaking of snow, there's been a lot of entries with
Wine
snow.
Country Wonderland. I love this.
Absolutely.
This is Lost Draw Winery. Guests of Fredericksburg have long enjoyed the laid-back atmosphere and friendly team at Lost Draw Winery, and now they can enjoy the same quality experience at Lost Draw's new tasting room in Johnson City. And if you're going through Johnson City, you got to go through the electric company and see all the lights on the trees as well.
Oh, a good inflatable here from Kendall County Fair Association. The County Fair Queen, Haley Jondro, is offering us up a big smile and a wave, of course. We got a lot of good queen waves tonight. Her own personal gingerbread town, you saw it there.
This is the Gilded Palm Aesthetic Spa. You need your nails done, mani-pedi for the holidays, for all those holiday parties, this is the place to go. It's a Griswold family Christmas. Clark, turn on the lights! Gilded Palm Aesthetic Spa is a non-surgical cosmetic spa right here in Fredericksburg. Look at that shot. This is at the Nimitz Museum as it makes its turn and makes another pass through Main Street. And look at how almost every shop is lit and traced in lights, and some great restaurants out there still open tonight, especially after the parade. So make a plan next year. If you're watching at home, make a weekend of it. Check out the wineries, check out the shops, and just visit this historic Fredericksburg town. You might even want to move here with affordable movers, Penny.
Well, they've helped me move twice already, so I love these guys. They do an awesome job here in the Texas Hill Country.
And I wanted to mention, you know, as the proceeds come in for this parade, you actually turn it back into the community for workforce development.
We do. That is an important priority for the Chamber of Commerce and for our 800 plus members. So that's a big part of us, is not only celebrating the Christmas spirit, but creating some proceeds to help us with an important community cause.
Giving back to the community. And you know, there are so many hidden jewels around here. If you're ever looking for a great breakfast, check out the diner at the airport. And check out some things around town as well as Main Street. Has so much to offer here.
You could spend a whole weekend here and still have a laundry list of things to see.
You know, you have girls' weekends, guys' weekends, wine tastings, so many shops and restaurants, and the vibe is just so perfect to kick off the holiday season.
It's festively cold, it's so bright, everything here has been incredible. Penny, thank you so much for being with us.
We've loved every minute.
Thank you for joining us live here in Fredericksburg, just in the Mark Plots, for the Light the Night Christmas Parade and Afterglow. We're in our 30th year. We are now saying goodbye, and we will continue our live broadcast on cbsaustin.com, where we'll continue the parade. We've got 160 floats, folks, so it's going to be a few more to show you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Merry Christmas. We're back here. Penny, thank you so much for joining us.
We left off at we got through all 65.
I think we did. And we are back live streaming on our on-air platforms on the internet, cbsaustin.com. I believe YouTube as well. If not now, then it will be later. We are so happy that you are here with us. We continue the coverage of the Light the Night Parade here in Fredericksburg, Texas. Folks, this is the biggest it has ever been, 160 floats. and we are not even halfway through. We just got through, what, 65, number 70?
65, yeah, we got about 90 more to go. And this is where they're making their turn, Avery, since this is your first rodeo, right?
It sure is.
They're at the Nimitz Museum at Washington Street. It goes down through Main Street, starts at Bowie, goes to Washington and makes a turn, and then it goes right in front of us, in front of the mark plots right here. We're right in front of the Christmas pyramid and the big lit tree. Takes about a month or so to get all these lights strung up, and the parade continues now. Again, some of the money from the parade goes to the Workforce Commission to help some of the residents in this community and just give back. We saw Simply Dipped on Main Street come by, a fondue restaurant. Great time for restaurants in this county and in this city. If you're going to have a date night or a time to just get out and explore your community, come to this city for a weekend getaway.
There's no reason not to, and there's so much to do and so much to see here. I think the fact that they had a record number of entries this year is proof of that. Everyone, every business, every mom and pop shop wants to participate in this because it is such a beautiful community event, brings everything together, the perfect way to kick off the holiday season. And what better way to do it than in Fredericksburg, Texas, heart of the hill country. We've had some bad luck with some weather in the past. You're not out here. If you're watching us at home, I can't tell you just how perfect it is. Perfectly chilly.
It's a wonderful life, Avery Tomasco.
It is about the best life.
Look at that helicopter.
That is a full-sized helicopter. I am going to assume it's a real helicopter that they decorated.
Well, these are all homemade floats, and they're from the community. You know, this could be from EMS or part of the first responders in the county. You know, the county is growing so big. This is what it's all about here. Family and friends, they just drop the tailgate or open a lawn chair. They share some coffee or wine and a charcuterie board and enjoy the night. Take a look at this snow globe. That's next level.
Of course the kiddos are going to be glued to this when you've got a full-size snow globe rolling down Main Street. Snow rolling and everything. We got the dogs out here. We got the kiddos. There are so many kids out here. Again, this is my first rodeo. This is the first time I've been able to see everything light up in person. I've been watching at home for years, but it's something different when you're out here, and these kids are getting a treat tonight.
And you rolled in around 3 o'clock, and the streets were already lined up and down Main Street in front of the mark plots, and you actually were on that big crane doing our live broadcast earlier today. Were you surprised at how many people were staking their claim for the best seats at 3 o'clock?
I was surprised when I got here how far away I had to park. I'm going to be getting my steps in just to get back out of here. It's that crowded, it's that busy, and I can't imagine how much more packed it has gotten on all these surrounding streets ever since 3:30.
That helicopter was actually Tango Aviation that went by. We also had Absolute Charm Real Estate. They are in the big globe, that big snow globe.
Lowrider truck.
And Lowrider truck was a restored truck that went by.
And here comes something you may recognize at home. Rodeo Austin. They got a decked out Jeep Gladiator. That thing is lit up to the T with a nice Christmas tree in the back. Of course, Rodeo Austin, we have had a proud relationship with here at CBS
Love
Austin.
Rodeo Austin. Their gala is coming up in February 3rd. Tickets are on sale. Join us if you can. Look at these restored cars. Those are amazing. Of course, Rodeo Austin just went by. Fredericksburg Car Club has 2 cars. The vintage car here, and that looks like a doozy or something like it.
Yeah.
Cadillac is beautiful.
You're the car guy, Walt. I was going to ask you, do you have any idea what these cars are? Because that one's got to be from 40s, 50s, that truck right there.
You know, in the beginning, this started out with the Red Hots and the band, and you had a couple people and vendors, you know, had some floats that did a lap around Main Street, and they called it a night. That was about 30 years ago. Now, you know, last year was 140 floats. This year, 160 floats. They actually said they had to cut off the floats because it was getting so big.
And I wish Penny was still with us. She had to go take care of some other business. She is a busy woman tonight. I wish I could have asked her, you know, why the limit? What's the cutoff?
I think they ran out of staging space.
They had to have. I don't know if they have enough side streets here off of Main Street to accommodate this many parade floats. And as you can see, I mean, this one is ginormous. Optimist Club of Fredericksburg. Ooh, look at that duck.
All decorated by the community. The community really comes out about a month before, gets an idea for the floats, starts securing the trucks and the trailers, and starts decorating. And it really what an honor for the kids to be out here and celebrating with their family and friends. You know, there was a great story earlier. Somebody just got engaged here. I think they were at a winery, and they called up Penny and said, hey, it's always been our dream to be in the parade. So Penny granted that wish. They were in the parade, and you had a similar story where you actually got engaged just down the road from here.
I sure did. So back in 2018, I proposed to my wife back in April. And there was no better place to do it here than Fredericksburg, Texas. We were at Hilmy Vineyards, just down the road from where we are right now. We're happily married now for, what is it now, 6 years? I'm going to get in trouble for forgetting. I think she's still watching at home. But it all started here. This is the hallmark place to do anything, especially for a newlywed couple getting the blessing of hopping up on a parade float. That really ties in the whole community vibe together. The fact that the president, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce would take the time to make sure that this busy parade float, this busy Light the Night parade could include one more.
You know, there's so much romance here, not only during Christmas time, but throughout the year, between the vineyards and the bed and breakfasts and the hotels and motels here and the shops. It's just really hard to beat. It's still small town Texas. You have families and family farms. There is the growth for sure. It's actually one of the busiest small municipal airports in Texas because so many people from around the area are flying into their ranches. But it's an incredible place, 60 vineyards. I hear there are permits for dozens more. This is growing by leaps and bounds. Again, a family-friendly place. This is a place to bring the family, kick off the holiday, go through Mark Plotch. You can go ice skating, check out the food vendors, and of course, this is presented by HEB tonight. It's the Light the Night Christmas Parade in Fredericksburg, Texas, and the Afterglow. This is the moving truck. It's perfect.
A&L Moving, I believe. That is an incredible decoration. They got to have a lot of batteries in the back of that van.
That took them some time for sure.
Walt, I was going to ask you, this is my first rodeo, right? This is my first time seeing this live, up close and personal.
So magical.
How many years have you done this now?
This is about my 11th year, and the first time we came out here, the lights and everything throughout the town were up. But you didn't have the crowds this big. Look on the other side of that street, there's bleachers set up. They're having to set up bleachers now. People are getting here around 1, 2 o'clock, the Grinch waving kind of.
On top of a septic tank.
Well, that's a perfect, he's in charter, right?
It's
a mean one, Mr.
A lot
Grinch.
of danger written over this parade float with the Grinch
Hey,
at the
Clark,
helm.
you got a match? You know, blowing the snow. But, you know, about 11 years ago, it was not this big or this organized. And now you have people from the entire county and even from outside the county participating and being involved in this. It's really a magical thing to see.
With how well decorated all of these, again, homegrown floats are, this is like your own personal trail of lights that we have back in Austin, you know, but you just get to sit in one place and watch the show go by. This is more elaborate than I could have ever imagined. How does this compare to the first time you were out here, these floats at least?
Well, the floats have definitely been a notch above what they've been in years past. They're more vibrant, more intricate, and more packed. You know, you wonder if there's really a place called Bedford Falls and It's a Wonderful Life, and you're looking at it right here. This is at Washington Street where the parade, 160 floats in this parade, make their turn and go back down and parade again on the other side of the street on Main Street, and then they wrap things up over there on Bowie Street. And they call it the Afterglow because when this parade is finished, people are still hanging out in their trucks with their tailgates down, sharing wine and cheese and hanging out with friends and family. And of course, the restaurants are open later along with the shops, so you can grab some ice cream with the family and just kick off the holiday season.
So much to do, so much to see, so much Christmas spirit in the air. I think we are about to get a phone call from some Hallmark producers, and they're going to make at least, but not limited to, 6
they've got
Hallmark movies right
They've got
here
their backdrop.
in Fredericksburg, Texas.
And I think it'll be a love story. It might involve a vineyard. And you know, there is a big war heritage here, the Nimitz Museum. And if you ever come here during the summertime, they put on a war game and they show all the decades of all of the different styles of tanks and trucks and armaments that they've used throughout the wars to honor all of our veterans. So
we've seen
incredible.
a few of those coming by in the parade, one of which was quite loud. It looked quite like a tank. It may have actually been a tank. So there's no shortage of variety here in the Fredericksburg Light the Night Parade. What you're looking at here is what I'm going to guess, and again, we're kind of rolling off the cuff here now that we are so deep into the parade and it's moving along quickly. A lot of kiddos, a lot of local students that have been invited to participate in this parade from local schools, marching bands, etc., theater arts.
4-H, a big thing here.
Absolutely.
Especially in the Gillespie County farming communities. And you have a lot of people just tied to not only the history of Fredericksburg, but the land and just the openness here. There's a lot going on in this county. Of course, the big attraction is going through Main Street, but there's some incredible farms and vineyards here throughout the county that is growing incredibly.
And it's such an honor to be invited to this, as CBS Austin being able to put this on display for the rest of Central Texas, because if you have not had the pleasure of coming out to Fredericksburg, I don't think it's like anywhere else you can find in Texas, especially on a night like this. You got Main Street, these old historic buildings, all of these community members, businesses, mom and pop shops running up and down Main Street. It does not get better than this to kick off the holidays.
You have the Macy's parade. That's a very slick parade in downtown New York, right?
Yeah, we don't need them.
This is a great homegrown, just everybody on the floats. Your neighbors are sitting beside you on the parade route, and you're just celebrating community, the holidays, and the spirit of Christmas.
And there are so many different varieties out here. Obviously, we're having a hard time keeping up. I think because of the fact that this is a record-setting, maxed out 160 floats, they might be putting their pedals to the metal a little bit there, Walt.
Somebody enjoying the tequila along with the wine here in Fredericksburg.
We've seen massive wine bottles, massive champagne bottles. I don't see a massive tequila bottle yet.
It started about 30 years ago with just some vendors on Main Street said, let's have a parade. They did one lap and they were done. Every year it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. The lights on the floats have gotten bigger and more intricate. More people in the community have come out. Last year there were 140 floats. It was a record. This year 160, a new record, and they actually had to cap it off at 160 because they didn't have enough staging room. And then they didn't need the parade going till midnight because they had to get some of these people home.
And we're all having to learn and grow with this parade as it grows. We have no idea what the exact parade floats are going by. We wish we could tell you. They're going by so quick, and there are so many of them that we're going to have to do some better homework, I think, next year. But who cares?
I know this is
the
Rudolph.
Views are great.
And it's a community, a community float as well. 800 businesses are part of the chamber. The Fredericksburg Chamber of Commerce puts this together every year. They produce it, and it's actually gotten so big that they need even more volunteers. The volunteers are a big part of this and making sure this parade goes off without a hitch. Some of the proceeds from the parade go to the workforce development programs here to continue to grow the parade, grow jobs in the county. And the Fredericksburg Marching Band kicks things off at 6:30, and it usually would wrap up around 7 o'clock. Now we're well past that.
I lost count of how many floats we got through when we ended our 6:30 newscast. We were through about 65 floats, and remember there's 160. So we're going to be here for a little bit, and no complaints from us.
And now you have the Hill Country Jewel here, as you have a lot of people from the community inviting friends and family here, actually from all over the world, to not only enjoy the wines and the restaurants, but the shopping and the world-class accommodations. So it's one of the small town charms of this place that attracts people from around the world.
What I love about Fredericksburg is no matter how long it's been since you've been back, it still keeps that small town feel from start to finish whenever you're driving through, but behind the scenes, it's growing so significantly.
It sure is, and now it's got a worldwide recognition, not only for its wineries that are competing. Its Tempranillo wine are very good. They also make holiday wines like a Glug. But
I don't know like a Glug.
A Glug is a mulled wine where they actually put a whiskey in the wine, and then you heat it up with raisins and nuts, and it's
ooh.
You got to share it. It'll knock you off your feet. But
now we're talking.
It's a special wine they produce here. Of course, they have the peaches out here and so many different varieties of wines for this region.
So many vineyards, and they're multiplying by the day. I feel like every time I drive into Fredericksburg, there's more spreading out farther on the 290 corridor that runs through Fredericksburg. I don't know where they're going to put them next.
But now they're taking it to the next level. Not only is it a vineyard and a tasting room, they have now accommodations on property. They also have big event places for weddings and gatherings and special events. So This is not only a destination place for local people to enjoy, but people from Austin, Dallas, Houston, coming out here for long weekends because of the accommodations and the yurts at these wineries. It's really been an incredible thing to watch this county grow.
It is on the world stage now, I think, and if it's not, it should be. You can see the local fire department putting on a display as we continue our live parade coverage here at the Light the Night Parade. We, of course, thank our first responders, like the DOS Fire Department rolling by in front of your screen. Well decorated there, the DOS Fire Department. There's an old-timey truck out ahead of it. So many varieties.
That's an old F-150 or Chevy for sure. So many restored out here as well. Frosty's Tasting Room going by now. There are a lot of tasting rooms in Fredericksburg and the surrounding area. And, you know, it's just a celebration of people and parties.
That's it right there.
And patriotism.
The kiddos are loving it tonight, as they should be. I mean, you can see obviously the parade floats rolling up and down Main Street, but you can also see a lot of those toys, the light up toys. They are spread far and wide with all of the kiddos here soaking in what I'm going to call the best way to kick off.
Provided by HEB, which is the Light the Night Parade sponsor tonight. The broadcast sponsor is Create Healthy, joining us this year for the first time, and the parade producer, Fredericksburg Chamber of Commerce. The mission of the Fredericksburg Chamber of Commerce is to promote a positive and growing business community. And of course, our first broadcast here, we found the best spot years ago, I think maybe 15 to 18 years ago. We make our live location in the Marktplatz, a beautifully illuminated park in the center of Fredericksburg and home to its most iconic building, the Vereinskirche. The parade route runs along Fredericksburg Historic Main Street from Bowie to Washington. This is the pyramid, the German pyramid.
German Christmas pyramid, and you know what? There's
2009.
a plaque. Yeah, in 2009, so about 14 years now, it's been here in in Marktplatz. I went and there's a sign, and it says where it comes from. It originates from coal mining mountains in Germany.
Huh.
What I saw in practice but have quickly forgotten is the official name of those mountains. It's very complicated.
And they said that was a precursor to the original Christmas tree. So there's so much of the Christmas traditions here, and the great thing is you have some great German food. So you have great German food at night, and the breakfast food in the morning, and the bed and breakfast is incredible.
You got to stop by here and get a brat if you ever run down Main Street. I forget what the restaurant's name is, but I've been there before.
A lot of them have them, and then you have the Fredericksburg Brewery that has brats, and you have some very traditional German restaurants that have the sauerkraut, the brats, the potatoes, just really incredible food.
Fredericksburg's a great place to gain about 15 pounds in a weekend.
Or then some.
Yeah,
then
it's
you
like
add some alcohol on top of it.
Thanksgiving 2.0 if you come out here after Thanksgiving. Like so many have done tonight. I mean, it is jam-packed. Walt, I don't know how this compares to crowds in the past, but this has got to be up there.
This has got to be the biggest crowd I've seen. I've heard anywhere between 10 to 12,000. Penny, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Penny McBride, says there's anywhere between 24 and 34,000 people out here lining the parade route. It goes from Bowie Street all the way to the Nimitz Museum at Washington Street, makes another turn and laps around.
And well, actually, Penny mentioned this earlier briefly. I kind of wanted to ask her about it. They actually diagnose how much cell phone traffic there is coming through the city. That's how they get an idea
to adjust to the crowd.
Of how big the crowd is. And there's no way the cell service isn't slowing down with this many folks.
You know, I think what happened, we have all of the description of the floats up until about 70. Then you had a rush of more entries coming in. They didn't have a chance to give us the entry titles, names, and descriptions. So right now, as you mentioned, we're winging it.
Yep.
But when you're at 160, it's probably hard to get a little synopsis from everybody on this float, considering it was this big. You know, usually it's about 80.
Yep.
You know, it's doubled.
Listen, it's a good problem to have, the fact that we have so many floats that we don't know which ones are going by at the present moment.
But you can tell the theme.
I really appreciate this very casual parade float. Just a group of locals having a good
tractor
time in the flatbed, taking in the views.
Fire ice. We know that's fire ice.
We got
like
fire
the little
ice.
Chimney, and we got the snowmen.
Big and bright.
But the bleachers, you know, they're having to add bleachers. They're adding more areas to watch, and for the first time ever this year, they have a VIP viewing area. So not only do you have your traditional park your truck, drop the tailgate, they've got a VIP area and they have drinks and restaurants nearby. There's the snow globe again.
Once again.
That's a great float. That's from the Absolute Charm Real Estate, having the big globe there.
And there's obviously so many firsts happening just tonight alone, 30-ish years, quote unquote. So
I think the parade has arrived.
The parade has arrived on the biggest stage possible, I think, here in the Texas Hill Country. You know, this is going to obviously continue on for years to come. They're going to have to keep adding more bleachers. They're going to have to keep
Look at that. That's
finding
packed.
ways to accommodate more folks, because it is absolutely packed out here. You love to see a crowd like this. All these kiddos somehow paying attention for more than an hour.
It's hard to do. That's why these floats are great, because not only do they like the floats and how intricate they are, but they also know people on the floats because that's their friends and neighbors.
There's so many students that have rolled by from local area schools, marching bands, the fine arts in our local schools, 4-H club. There is a lot of variety, a lot of involvement, and it spans at least a few generations.
Music, of course, live music on some of these floats. We've got music blaring from outside the floats. And
oh, is that CBS Austin? No, it's not.
John Carlos Estrada, our morning anchor, is on one of our floats out here.
Theoretically, we will see him eventually.
He has a very loud suit, so you can't miss his holiday Christmas suit. He's usually out here with Allison Miller from the morning show at CBS Austin. This is the Grinch here on the float here, going by Main Street, and all of the people in downtown Austin.
There have been at least 6 Grinches. This is the first one I've seen with a ponytail.
And a couple of Charlie Browns. You know, you never know what you're going to see out here at the Christmas parade. I love this one. You know,
another classic.
Classic truck. You got the camper. I Love Lucy's going to come out of there, I think, in a minute.
Has to.
It's just one of those. That's a perfect fill of this parade.
You're a car guy. You got to be in classic car heaven.
Look at that Chevy. I
we've
know.
They've got going both directions now with the old Airstream there on the back. Obviously, the kiddos are loving every second of this.
And they lit it up pretty well, and of course the wreath on the front is perfect. A lot of car dealers in town, a lot of banks in this parade, and a lot of the Main Street merchants. And it's one of those things where you can come here, grab some great wine, have a good dinner, get some gifts, and unique gifts. Of course, a lot of boot places. You're a boot guy.
Absolutely.
A lot of Western wear places.
I'm not the one
cowboy
wearing
hats.
ostrich boots
Well,
tonight,
I had to
Walter.
step up my game for the holidays.
And you did so magnificently. There are some good boot shops here in town that I've seen before.
A bass fishing boat there. We've got Fido and family.
Sleepy boy.
HEB passing out those sparkly Light the Night Parade wands for everyone. They are
HEB
the
really brought the
sponsor.
party. Penny, I don't know if you were able to see earlier in our broadcast, she was wearing HEB themed Converse.
Yeah.
And I got to get my hands on some.
It's the only grocery store in the nation that produces its own tennis shoes.
They have to be.
I'm pretty sure. All right, I think this is the last float, rounding out the Light the Night Christmas Parade here in Fredericksburg, Texas, sponsored by HEB, Light the Night and Afterglow, and what an amazing night.
The most floats they've ever had at the Light the Night Christmas Parade, with so many floats that our own John Carlos Estrada at some point had to have come through here, and we may not have ever seen him.
So this is the turning point at the Nimitz Museum, where they turn at Washington Street, and then they go to Bowie Street. And we've had an official count now, 154 floats, and a record for the parade. Last year was around 140. Now 154, and even more people than I've seen in years.
And they are wrapping up the parade here on the PA speaker. We're right here in the thick of the mix. Apparently, John Carlos Estrada was all the way back
on float number 3.
Float 3.
Right next to Santa.
Oh, JC, sorry we missed you, buddy. I'm sure you looked incredible in your festive suit.
Yes.
It was hard to keep up with this many floats. Again, 154, the record most they've ever had, making their final loop down there at the end of Main Street, back up where they started. So it's not quite over yet, but we have seen officially the last parade float move through, going westbound. Eastbound? Eastbound on Main Street.
Eastbound and Dime.
Eastbound on Dime?
Yeah, eastbound and Dime, rode it up and trucking. Okay, to recap, this has been an incredible parade here for the Fredericksburg Light the Night Christmas Parade. We're live at the Marktplatz, giving you the sights and sounds of the parade. It started 30 years ago or so with some merchants on Main Street who decided to have their own parade, and then every year it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Last year 140 floats, this year officially 154 floats. It felt like more than that. It's a beloved local tradition, and it's part of 800 businesses here putting this together with the Fredericksburg Chamber of Commerce, and part of the proceeds from this parade go to workforce development and back into the community. Just an incredible tradition here in Fredericksburg, Texas. And meteorologist Avery Tomasco, what an honor and pleasure to have you here on the first parade.
So nice sitting next to you, Walt, for this incredible event. Again, I'm a first timer. It has been an incredible event to see and experience for the first time. If you have been thinking, maybe I should go to the Fredericksburg Parade next year, stop thinking about it, do it. I have been on cloud nine ever since we got here, and literally on cloud nine up on the scissor lift earlier.
It's really hard to describe the lights, the atmosphere. It really is the unofficial start of Christmas here in the region, and it's something you should experience with friends and family. So on behalf of CBS Austin, the Fredericksburg Chamber of Commerce, and Penny McBride, and of course our newbie, who's now a veteran, meteorologist Avery Tomasco, I'm Walt Macaborski. Thank you for joining us for the Fredericksburg Light the Night Parade and Afterglow, sponsored by HEB.